All right, YouTube should be good to go now. Hopefully, my screen is displayed and you guys can hear me in YouTube now. Sorry about that. I have to figure out why. Just because I launched Chrome, it shut everything else down. Do I think okay, well, just a couple more things I have to do. I'm sorry. A couple more things I have to do. So let me get to. It's amazing all the things I have to do before I get going. So do I think GM? Well, of course, I have no idea, but and now the unfortunate part, of course, I've lost my top 10 list. But do I think it'll get going again? Well, let's see. Well, it's way under the VWAP. I mean, it's way under the VWAP, so I have no idea. I mean, it's trying to come back a little bit, but it's way under the VWAP, so doesn't look good right now, but doesn't mean later on in the day. But right now, if you're talking about from down here, from 264 up here, IMC. So IMC, this is the IPO for today. So at least it got over 5 again. One last thing to do. Okay, so I am now, everything is loaded again, locked and loaded. And now so this one is sort of interesting to me. Okay, I mean, it's an IPO today. It's back at least to the IPO price. It's out of Brazil. This is a Brazilian IPO. One of the very few. I don't know if I've ever seen a Brazilian IPO. A lot of volume, 3.2 million. It's a rare earth. Well, that's what it's called, rare earth. Okay, guys. So this, just watching this one could be interesting. I mean, there's obviously there's no history. Well, the way I do it, okay, in terms of the stocks, to see what the filters were, I'm just going to take a look at mine. my stocks like this template. And how far back can I go? History yesterday. So why not do that? History yesterday? Okay. I just did history yesterday. It is not the same exactly, but I thought if you put egg in here, you would see the values. It's not exactly the same, but because you know what these values are, and you would, and so if you say, well, why didn't I see egg? One hit your custom formula. Well, you could add the custom formula as a you can add your custom formula. These are just headers, okay, filters. You could add your custom formulas here, like the as a column, and you'd see what the value was. So if you thought egg should have triggered at 10:02, and you put egg in here, and you'll see the values that happen, and then then you'd have to. I mean, it's a little more convoluted perhaps, but then you compare it to what the values are in your filter or your scan is. Anyway, I mean, it's just a thought. Okay, just a thought. Do I think when do I think Tesla is going to start coming back? I have no idea. This is Richard in our YouTube room. I have no idea. I mean, it's wow, challenging 300 now. I have no idea. I mean, it still has a ways to go. The next low on a monthly chart is 297. You got to hope 300 holds. So, but I have no idea when or if Tesla is going to make a comeback. I mean, it's the same thing as SpaceX, but Tesla had earnings back here, and the reaction was not good. So unless they come up with some great news, but right now nobody wants the stock. Well, 297 is the next low on a monthly chart. 297.82 doesn't mean it's going to hold. And then the next low before that was 288. So yeah, I mean it's a dicey level right now, trying to hold 300. Oh, Pepe said that eyeing the 297 level. Sorry, but it was Richard. All right, guys. Well, it's 11:58, so now I'm going to take my break. So, see, there's nobody taking over for me in our YouTube room today. Okay, so that's for the YouTubers. I'll be back in the room at 1 p.m. No one is speaking, and Dan is not doing his IPO or his his YouTube thing. Okay. Oops. Put it in the wrong room. Dan is not here today. No. Okay, guys. So I'm on a break. Okay, back around 1 p.m. ET. I might be earlier. Okay, just because there's nobody in YouTube. So I'll try to get back up maybe a little earlier. Definitely. Did it work? Okay. Good. Okay, guys. So we'll see you in about an hour. Okay. So I'm going to mute myself now. And also mute myself in YouTube. Okay, hi Gregory. I'm at a bit of a break right now, but I'll help you. Is it possible to open more than one dock channel bar? The answer is yes. So can you see what I'm going to do? Just make sure you can see what I'm going to do. I just need an answer from you. I got to make sure before I do it. I just want to make sure you can hear me and see my screen. Okay. So yeah, go. So click on New from the toolbar. Click on Dock Channel Bar. I think your question is, can I have two channels open at the same time? Yes. So if I want to go, explosive winners. So this is open, and I just go back to the channel bar. Okay, click on it again. New dock channel bar. So this one is still open, and then I can click another one, the most. So now I've got two channels open at the same time. Okay, I do have two channels open at the same time, but I caution you, don't have so many open because it'll really slow down your system. I mean, I would probably cap it at two. I mean, you could try three, but the idea really is to maybe definitely don't have, I would not have more than three open at the same time because it might really slow down your system. But you see what I did. All you do is just go back to the new and then dock channel bar and then click on another channel. You can keep doing that. So I've got the two channels. That's what you were asking for? Oh, excellent. Now, when you say brand new, you're brand new to trade ideas or brand new to trading? Ah, okay, excellent. Well, that's good. Well, then you've done the right thing. I mean, you're taking a look at some of the channels, as you notice, they're all theme based. You can also do things like this. Let me click on the dock channel bar again. Let's just say you found a cup. Maybe you found in this one the buy explosive winners. Okay, I'll look at explosive winners as an example. Now you may not want to. You don't want to necessarily. I mean, you may, but stay in the channel. But you may like something within the channel that you want, and create a layout with that in it. So, for instance, the relative strength leaders from the open. I'm just using this as an example. Let's just say you really wanted that one. Okay, but you don't want to stay in the channel all day long. So what you can do is right click and you see where it says duplicate into free floating window. Now, sometimes it may just say duplicate. It's supposed to say duplicate into free floating window, but again, sometimes it'll just say duplicate. So when I click on that, popped on my other monitor, but here it is. Now it's free floating. Okay. So now you don't have to stay in the channel anymore. You can take this and you can actually make adjustments to it if you want in terms of the price range and all of that. So you could go to the different channels and start extracting some windows and then making a layout based on those, if that makes sense. Because now what I can do is I can just, get rid of it, but it's still here. And maybe I have another one that I like. Now, don't have so many. Don't have so many, in a giant layout with like 10 different top lists and four different alert windows. You'll never get anything done. So I'm not saying, don't experiment. The other thing to do is if you, and I'm sharing a lot of my scans also. Let's just say you decided, yeah, I really like this one and I want it every single day. I'm going to have it in my layout. You also, good practice is to right click and save it to the cloud. Okay. Whoops. Save or share to cloud. So right click on the body of it, save or share to cloud, and save it. Now it's in your cloud. The reason you do that is that, maybe you run this for a month and you say, no, I don't like it anymore. And so you get out of it. But then, 2 or 3 months from now, you might say, I wonder how this one is doing. So you can bring it back from the cloud. You just file load from cloud, excuse me, file load from cloud, and you'll see it. You probably haven't done too many. You'll just see them, the ones you've saved. So it's always a good idea, always, to save anything you create, any layout that you've got, um, anything you create, save it to the cloud. So I'll put myself on mute again. If you have another question, excuse me, I'll hop back on. All right, guys, I'm back. Yeah, you guys are talking about the HIMS dropping hard from the FTC lawsuit. Let me see. Do I see HTMS or HIMS anywhere? New user, in your experience, is using a Mac with parallels work well? I have never used Mac. I don't have a Mac. I've never used parallels, but many people who use parallels on a Mac, I have never heard any issue about latency. I can pull the other room, probably the other room. Anybody in the main room who uses a Mac and parallels, any issues? Because I know a lot of people do that, so I've never heard anybody say. And Pepe, so he's the definitive word. It works well. So there you go, Seth Shapiro. Okay, in our YouTube room. All right, guys. Well, 2 o'clock. It'll be really interesting. I mean, with this market being blasted, it markets a little bit of a recovery in the SPY anyway. The Dow is now down only 771. The last time I looked, it's getting closer and closer to 1,000. But the SPY is starting to recover a little bit. There's the VWAP. I'm going to put a price alert at the VWAP. See if it gets back up there. You know what else had a nice run? I mean, you figure out a way to trade this. I mean, it has tremendous range every day, obviously, but the SpaceX, look at this the move down from 114 down to 111, 110, and then from 110 all the way up to 117. Oh, okay. You're trying to duplicate free floating windows that stay on one stock and add more separate. Okay, so is your question that you're trying to say assign a window to a stock? Looked at my scan and it is empty. I'm trying to duplicate free floating windows that stay on. Okay, well, couple things. The two main options within a window in terms of either having it stay on a stock. Okay, well, the SPY just got up to the VWAP, guys. So you see my SPY chart. Okay, just give me a moment. Give me one moment. Okay, that's easy. That's easy. Just give me one moment. So there's really only two options in with the charts. If you right click on a chart and go to properties, you see how it says symbol linking. More than likely, you just keep it on link to all. That's the default. Okay, but you have symbol linking. So I got it checked. I've got symbol linking checked for these five charts, but I don't have it checked on the SPY. That's why it'll stay as the SPY. When I right click, go to properties, see how symbol linking is unchecked. Okay. So that's how you do it. You want to have thumbnail charts staying on a chart. You just make sure right click, go to properties, and uncheck the symbol linking. Okay. Did I? Did I? Okay, good. That's really the simplest. I mean, there are other options sort of within symbol linking, but I would say that 99.9% of our customers, that's all they do. They either have symbol linking checked or unchecked. You just grab the, so I'll show you on this one. Just want to duplicate the chart so I don't mess it up. So here it is. So, once here's my pointer. Once it changes to this icon, the north south, then I can just start to move down. It is grab the top corner the minute I see the icon changing. That is changed. So I'll do it again. See here, I have a plus sign here, but sometimes it'll be the pointer. The minute there's the pointer, the minute it changes to north south, okay. Now I can grab it. Left click on my mouse and keep the on my mouse, keep it the left click on held down, and then on the other side, same thing. When it changes the pointer east west, so with the left click on the mouse, keep it held down, and then you can just size it. Okay. Now that's what I do with a Windows computer. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully that's, and you got a mouse. Okay. But that is the easiest way, I think. Okay, did that work? So under properties, small borders. So that's, I don't even do that, but let's check it and see what happens. See, it depends also if you're using the. I'm not even sure what small borders does anymore. I Something I just don't use, but let's see if it makes any difference. Not sure what the small borders does. I thought it was something to do up here. So you can try that. You can check small borders. I'm not 100% sure I know what it's doing. I'm just looking here. I don't see any change. I think the small borders made more sense in the in an alert window. Okay, now understand that this single stock window is what I want to see, right? Okay. So these are just filters. These are just filters. The float, the option volume today, the short float percent, the stock composite rating. These are just filters. So what you can see, so these are all they are filters. So if I went right click, configure, and I wanted to add something, these are all the filters. These are just filters. So if I wanted to add something to the single stock window that I wanted, I would pick a filter and add it. So consequently, all I'm saying is that you can actually see what filters I'm using. They're labeled. But for instance, it's not necessarily what you want to see. Maybe you want to see more financial data. I mean, I can give you this, but again, it's not necessarily what you want. So it's up to you. I mean, I'll give it to you. Okay. But you could take a look at some of these and say, I don't like them. So if you went to configure and then you look at columns, it's not the easiest thing to do, but now here's the selected column. So if you didn't like if you didn't care about the float, you'd left click on it, highlight it, and then right arrow it over to get rid of it. Okay. Otherwise, here are there are more filters. You click on more in this column. Okay. Well, I guess you'd have to, but you can add whatever filters you want. The trick is always going to be arranging them where you want. But that's just a matter of going to this column order and sort of arranging them where you want, moving them over, and it's not the easiest, but well, once you do it, that's usually you're set. Well, earnings. I mean, you have the earning filter right there, earnings date anyway. Well, guys, actually, pretty nice recovery for the SPY. The SPY's only down 4.5 points. The Dow is down 740. The Dow at one point was down 900. You mean you're at, the question, it's always, oh, where is the button? Is that what you mean, Amber? Once I mean, you do it a few times, like I've done many, 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 more than a few, it becomes second nature. But even me, you asked about the small borders. I haven't used small borders in years. I think it's more appropriate. Let me just do this. I think it's more appropriate if on a duplicate this. I can't remember what it does. I know it does something, but I cannot remember what it does. G wave. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Obi. G wave pop. Yeah, G wave is popping. Green wave is popping. Would I have seen it here? The volume is probably a little light. I think the volume is too light for it to show up here. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that the volume was too light. It is picking up though, of course. And it halted. Oh, I see. So it got halted. Well, this is certainly flatlining now, guys. This IMC is certainly just flatlining an IPO today. I think the volume is just completely dried up. I have to put a price alert though at the high in case maybe tomorrow, maybe today it takes it out. This is an IPO out of Brazil. A rare earth. Well, that's what it's called. Rare Earth Limited. So I may even hang around to 2:30, guys, depending on what we see happening at 2. Just well, I'll certainly be around. I may not be still live in the room, though I can always hop back on the mic just to see what the press conference is going to be like at 2:30, especially if they raise rates. Well, guys, I mean, this would have been a nice one also to take, other than SpaceX. It's got the same. It's got double the move. It's actually gone positive now. Okay, two times the move that SpaceX had. So from 622 all the way up to 684. So it's just barely gone positive now. Yeah, I do see this one also. Yeah, Obi stack is on the move. State just can't. I mean, well, look, the high yesterday. So the next high is, well, 519 or so. The high yesterday, I guess it's above it. Do not like the browser interface on my daily chart. And hover over the candle to see exactly what the price is. 257. So 257 is the next high. That was yesterday's high. And if it can somehow crack that, 539. All right, just like that. Now, it doesn't mean just because it got there, it's going to continue, of course, but maybe I have this one thumbnail. That's the only reason I know about it. I have no idea what the volume's like. Yeah, not great. This ag poo, this was from well, a few days, but it's not, the volume is really dried up. Too bad. Over the VWAP, over the whole number, room to run, but the volume is just dried up. Where did I put my price alert? I got rid of all my price alerts, but well, actually, I think I might have held that one. That was the one right at the bottom, but no, I guess yeah, I put you see how it's really struggled to get through, really free of 15. I think I put it, I'll reset it around 15, 14, just see if it can really clear that 15 level. Okay, thank you, William, in case I don't want to stay around. So William is going to keep the room open till at least, we'll call it 2:35. The presser is at 2:30. Usually it takes 5 minutes or so for him to talk, and then it's fielding questions. So about 15, 15, 15, in that range. I'm just looking at this 5 minute chart. The high is up here at 1530. You want to be very conservative, you put it there at the high of the day, and because obviously it's got a ton of room looking left. Yes, thank you again, OB, SBRC through the well, at the VWAP anyway. It's right at the VWAP. High of the day was up here around 670, sorry, 870, so about a dollar, oh, about a dollar 50 away from that high. Well, grid dynamics, you certainly are having a run. Now, remember what I would say about this this window right here, this upside versus downside movers. You start to see some stocks that are really lying dormant for several hours, and then in the afternoon, the volume picks up. Not saying they're all going to look quite as dramatic as this, but when you get an alert here, like let's take a look at the CMPS. Now, you see, I mean, I'm not saying like the other one had a whole series, but you see the volume move in the CMPS. Now, unfortunately, that's down. It was up, but it's down. But that's the idea of this alert, especially in the afternoon. A stock that's kind of, the volume is sort of dwindled for several hours. Then all of a sudden, the enthusiasm picks up sometime in the afternoon when you get one of these alerts. Certainly with the GDYN, no kidding. I mean, look at that. Look at that now. There are shares available, 2 million to short. And why would I even think of that? This has gone pretty darn parabolic. Parabolic. So now the high, well, the next high actually is up here, $8 for the on the weekly chart anyway. So there is a little bit of room to run. It's just this almost seems halted. No, I mean, it's not, but it almost seems like it's halted. I mean, it's just not trading. I mean, it's not trading much. It's not getting off that 679, 680. I'm losing my voice. Just give me a moment. Need more water. Yeah. So the $1 million question is what direction? So they did have some news, okay, this morning. And in quotes, Grid Dynamics announces momentum in adoption of agentic AI solutions. And they put that in quotes. Whoever created this headline, it's a bit of a dig at them, I think. But that it's not like that news happened right now, right here. That news was in the pre-market. Really didn't do much for it, and then all of a sudden, right at 1 o'clock. Well, I mean, it's gone parabolic. I mean, I look at this and, it's the bottom of those bars lost, they're not touching the top of the wave. The wave is getting fatter. So it's definitely getting parabolic. 7 may block it, though when you look at the weekly chart, $8 is the next high. So, so a bit of a guess. All right, guys, one last look at my homepage. All right, so on my homepage at the very top, here's how you can take out a subscription to Trade Ideas using my promo code Barry15. You'll get 15% off the first month only or the entire year of a Trade Ideas subscription. Doesn't matter if you pick our standard or our premium service. The 15% applies to the 2 monthlies and the 2 annual subscriptions. So all I ask, if you use my code, or please use my code if you're going to take out a subscription anytime in the future. Helps to keep the rooms free. I'm moderating a YouTube room and this room right here, the trading room. So the trading room is a lot more active. If you're sitting in YouTube wondering about this, it's free also. Another perk, it's open at 6:45 a.m. Eastern time. So thank you, Obi, for doing that. I live in Vancouver, Canada, not Washington. So that's why I don't do it. Time zone not good for me to do that. And so if you want to come into a room in the pre-market, here's and interact with other traders, you can do so right here. I get on the mic for both rooms sometime between 9 and 9:15. Yeah, but maybe you were gone, but I took immense flack for not recognizing that there was a Vancouver in Washington also. So keep scrolling down, keep it simple, get the trade of the week, okay? And it is free. You'll get it before the market opens every Monday morning. And education. Click on the education. So click on my homepage link, go down to the education section, click on the more info. First thing to do, if you take out a subscription to Trade Ideas, getting started with Trade Ideas. 12 short videos. This is mandatory you do this, okay? If you've taken out a subscription, and if you don't have a subscription and you're wondering, sitting there wondering, I wonder if this product is good for me. Would I even like it? Well, I'm not, it's not going to make you an expert or anything, but I would start off with the second video, go to the end, gives you a great idea about what we are capable of doing, we as in the program. Okay. That should make up your mind whether or not you'd like to try us for at least a month. You can try us for a month. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. Back to basics. If you're new to trading, this is for you. 15 free videos if you're new to trading. Okay, what you're doing is you're not scrolling, Amber. I think, didn't you ask that question yesterday? Somebody asked the question yesterday, but let me make sure. I just clicked on the link. Remember now, you'll be at the top. You'll be at the top. Okay, you've got to scroll down till you get to these sections. And then so this is my homepage. So we just went through the education. Now my scans. Remember, you've got to scroll down to get to those sections. And then here is what I'm sharing right now. Here's what you can see, actually. The biggest gainers from the start of the race is here. Upside versus downside movers right there. Daily trend reversals and off. It's not going to look exactly like this, but this is what, this is the gist of it. This is the don't repeat version. Also, because I had to do a reboot of Trade Ideas, I've lost all the links or all the alerts from before. So the homepage link, I mean, I just clicked on it. I just clicked on it and it loads. So I'm not sure what's happening on your end. What's happening on your end? I don't know how I could help if it's not loading because, I just showed you that it is loading for me anyway. Really? So what is happening? Are you not getting okay, just quickly, okay? Just want to go through this. This is what I use in the pre-market. The pre-market act is up and down. There's the halts resumes. And I do have other scans that I'm currently sharing, but I do not have up and running. But are you not getting like what happens when you click on it? I mean, this is what you should see immediately. Is it going to another browser tab or something that you're not seeing? I don't know, of course, what's happening on your end, but Money Machine is not released. No, I'm talking to Scradja in our YouTube room. Not released. When you say unable to read, so you're talking about the link that's in the chat. When you say unable to read, you just click on it. You don't have to read it. Can you see what I'm doing? Right? I'm just now it's pointer hand. Once it turns to hand, I click on it and it loads it. Is anybody else having the same issue? My link. You don't have to be able to read it. Actually, it's just you just click on it. Thank you, Rocky. Yeah, mhm. Maybe, I don't know, maybe do a reset and get back into the room, Amber, because, yeah, it's virtually impossible for me to know what would be happening unless it was widespread, unless the link was broken or something, but it's impossible for me to know how to help other than, again, doing a reboot. No, I wouldn't necessarily have to reboot your whole system, but, maybe exit the room and come back in. How about let me put another link in before you leave if you haven't left. Why don't I put another link in? Just to make sure. Let's do a momentum. Okay. There's another link. Click, see, and you click on that one and have it load. All right. The only other thing I can think of is I'll give you the link without my name at the beginning or and see if that works. I mean, it doesn't make sense that that would be the issue, but okay, let me just copy that. Okay, let's see how does that work? So that worked. Interesting. So just because I had my name in front of it, but obviously that shouldn't matter. But okay, whatever works. Time. Okay, 1:39. So weird living in two time zones. All right, guys. Well, I actually did take a short on this one. It's a couple of pennies to the good right now, but GDYN. Okay, excellent, Rocky. So yeah, the 12 videos there again, I'm sure you're aware, not going to make you an expert in trade ideas, but covers all the key elements, okay? And certainly keep coming into the room. You can ask questions. I really enjoy questions because otherwise it can get kind of boring after the first 3 or 4 hours if there are no questions. Well, and again, the thing about it, Rocky, I don't know what sort of experience do you have trading because you don't have to learn everything. Okay. For instance, I always when I go when I if I click if I click on this alert window, right click on it, and then click on configure. Oh, then you've got a lot of trading experience. So, but if you click on search, I'll start from scratch again. So I'm going to take this alert window. Doesn't matter what alert window. I right click on it, and then I go to configure, and then I click on the search. So here are all the real-time alerts that we've got. Starting off at the very top, the two most popular ones, the new high and the new low of the day. But as you can see, when you see these icons right here, these are all the real-time alerts that we've got. We got a lot of them. Okay. And when we go down, when I keep scrolling down, we get to these icons. These are the filters that we have. A filter, in other words, most people want to have a certain price range they want to trade, maybe a minimum volume they want to trade, things like that. That's the filtering process. But as you can see, we have a lot of them. So some people, especially if you have no trading experience, you might look at this and go, well, this is way too complicated. How am I supposed to learn all of these? Well, the good news is you don't have to. Okay. And I'm talking not just to you, but to anybody listening. You don't have to learn them all. The only reason there are so many is that when the company started over 20 years ago, 23 years ago, I guess now 2003, they felt that most people probably would not want to have to learn a programming language in order to create a scan. So that they said, okay, well, let's try to create as many different real-time alerts that we can, and a lot of different types of filters, so that if you had any trading experience, you could find a way to combine them to give yourself the type of scan you're looking for. Okay. So what that would mean, though, is that if you've got any trading experience at all, sure, maybe you start scrolling through and you say, standard deviation breakout. Oh, that's interesting. I understand that. And if you don't understand it, but you're maybe wanting to learn about it, and I wouldn't do this for every single one. Just I've had this program since 2010. I've probably only used 20 max of all these combined. Okay. And not all at once, but for instance, I've never used a standard deviation breakout. But if I were interested in it, finding a little bit more, you left click on it, okay, and you've highlighted it, and then you click on help. And now you're going to get a great detail, a lot of detail about what it is, how we look at it, how you can use it, okay? But that doesn't mean that, of course, you go through each one of them to figure out, well, how do I use it? How do I use this? How do I use this? Of course not. But if you have trading experience, you may be aware of a standard deviation, just as you know, as an idea. 75% pullback from the highs. Okay, you might look, maybe you're not used to that. You go, wow, it could be interesting. Let's see what it does. Left click, and then click on the help. And again, very detailed information about it. But again, I would never tell anybody, well, you've got to go through each one of those and go to the help for each one of them. Of course not. You might just pick and choose something that you recognize, and then maybe use it. And so the idea of creating a scan, I'll use that. Well, actually, I don't have to do that. So in here, there are two scans. Okay, that's why it's called the multi-strategy window. It's so I have up big yesterday, down today, down big yesterday, up today. So what a multi-strategy window does is typically it's used if you don't have a lot of screen space. So you can take, these are just in these strategies, scans, they're just individual alert windows. Okay. So you could have several alert windows, put them into one window. It's a way to save some screen space. Screen space is not an issue really for me, but I do like to have perhaps similar strategies in a window. So I mean, these are similar in that they're, one's just the reverse of the other. But if I look at this one, and this has been sort of a big one today. So down big yesterday, but up today. So this is an example of a scan. Okay, I could break this out so it was on its own, but this is an example of a scan. So I'm looking for stocks between $1 and $60. Very powerful filter. If you're a day trader, intraday trader, you almost have to use this. Okay, the current volume is at least 3. What that means is it's got to be trading at least 3 times normal up to this time of day. It is time of day sensitive. Okay, and these numbers. I mean, this is what I happen to have. So some of my scans, I might have even a higher number, so that I'm reducing the number of alerts I'm going to get. But I'll continue. The volume today is 150,000 shares. Price has to be up at least 1% from yesterday's close. This is what gives it the sort of the down big, but up today. Shouldn't really say up big necessarily, but usually they are. But the price had to close at least down 5% yesterday. Yes, I'm just doing this right now. Well, okay, depends what you mean by adjustable. But I'm just going to keep going on this one just for a minute. So here, the price is at least 100% above the low of this range. It's sort of a strange way of describing it, but this is the position in the previous day's range. So if I put 100 here, that means the stock has to be at least at the high of yesterday's high. Okay, has to be at least at yesterday's high. Probably is going to be more. It's going to be above yesterday's high. And then I purposely delay the alerts. I don't want to see the alerts right at 9:30, so I delay them. They're all real-time alerts, but I just don't want to see alerts between 9:30 and 9:35 when it's very hectic. But the bottom line is this is just an example of a scan that I put together. So if all these filter values are met and a stock makes a new high for the day, we get a real-time alert. Okay? That's that's what this. So when I look at, let's take a look at MSS as an example. See, this was down yesterday. This is that red bar. So it was down at least 5% yesterday, and then boom, today it absolutely exploded. Now it's come all the way back down, but that's the sort of pattern it's looking for. And then the other one is just the reverse. Stock that was up big yesterday and down today. Yes, you can tweak them in terms of the values. Sure. So for instance, you might look at that and go, well, I like the idea, but see, this is just the reverse of it. Okay. I want to see now stocks when they're making new lows, they got to be down at least 1%. But yesterday it closed up 5%. This is just the complete reverse. And also the stock has to be below the low of yesterday. So it's just looking for the reversal. The reverse of the ones making new highs. But you can take this and you say, you know what? I like the idea. I don't like that price range. So of course you can take that price range and make it whatever you want. I don't like that volume. Change it. Okay. And if you have some filters that you like, if you're used to trading, maybe you add some filters of your own in here. So what I'm getting this, the fact that this is what I want to see, of course, does not have to be what you want to see. So basically explain it this way. I'm giving everybody these scans, but of course it's up to you if you want to use it exactly the same way or you want to make some changes to it. It's like a template then that you have. So you don't have to start from completely from scratch. If you like the idea of what it's looking for. Well, believe me, I wish there were more questions because I know I say it keeps me engaged. It's that simple. I don't know. There's a lot of things out there that we had a question just about an hour ago. You notice that my time frames when I click on a symbol, so I'll click on APUS, my charts change to APUS, but this one doesn't. It remains on the SPY. Well, you look at that and go, well, how did he do that? I mean, it's not so obvious how to do it. So, if people ask the question, I'll show them, and you right click and go to properties. And then where it says symbol linking, it's either going to be checked or not checked. So in all these ones, it's all checked because I want the stocks to change or the charts to change. But the SPY, of course, I want the SPY to be constant. But my point is that unless you know to right click and I got to go to properties and I got to go to symbol linking, if a lot of most of the charts or most of the scans, everything, if you right click, you're going to bring up some kind of a menu. Okay, you're going to bring up some kind of a menu. But if you don't see, immediately, well, how would I keep that chart the same? So it doesn't change, or how would I have it change? You don't see it immediately. You're going to dive into all this and try to figure it out. I mean, you could, but what a waste of time. Well, not a waste of time, but people might get just upset and say, you know what? I don't like this program. It's too complicated. It's not really that complicated, but if you don't know something like that, which seems and I would think the same way. Seems like such an obvious thing that I would want to do. Why isn't it more clear? you know? Yeah, don't use the web-based version. Do not use the web-based version. Okay. if you're using the web-based version because you've got a Mac, um, okay, but you better be using Parallels. Were you the one who asked about Parallels? Somebody asked about using Parallels in the YouTube room. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you have a PC, absolutely 100% use the downloadable application. The web-based version is not supported anymore. Now, do I want to take this MPLT? That's the question. How did you find us, Rocky? Just out of curiosity, how did you actually find us? It's amazing how many people don't know the room exists. No, well, or are you talking about you found the program? How did you find it? Just out of curiosity. iHub. I remember iHub. It's funny. I found this program in about 2010. Okay, I was not. I've been sort of. I'm sort of contracted by Trade Ideas to do this. Okay, but in 2010 I was just a subscriber. How I found it. Some of you may remember Scott Trade. I don't know who bought Scott Trade, but Scott Trade was another online brokerage. And I was in another room. I can't remember what the name of it was. And people were just were it wasn't nobody was live on the mic, but it was like text, just like this room, and they were posting information that would say the next high is point zero 0.05 away, and lots of information. And I kept saying, "Where are you getting that from?" And they said, "Well, that's from my trade ideas." I said, "Oh, okay." And you see, in those days, Trade Ideas was sort of embedded Trade Ideas was sort of embedded in Scott Trade. But understand, I'm in Canada, so I didn't have access to Scott Trade. And she said, "Yeah, it's Trade Ideas," and I thought that was a name of like Scott Trade's scanning program. I had no idea it was a separate program. And she kept posting this. I thought, wow, that's such great information. And then finally, somebody said, no, no, it's not Scott Trade's program. Scott Trade has sort of the license to use it. And so I did a search, found Trade Ideas in 2010, like probably after 6 months of her posting this stuff. Wow, look at the SPRC now. Before I realized, and boy, when I found it, I said, oh, what a program. But I did make many, 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 many mistakes. Biggest mistake I made with Trade Ideas was trying to do too much, have too many alert windows, too many top list windows, being inundated with information, and not getting anything done. Well, I think one of the nice things, and believe me, it's not just because it's me doing this, but I mean, we have the support, and it's free. It's free. I mean, you don't have to even be a subscriber. So yeah, you've got somebody like myself who can help, but we've got lots of great traders in the room that can also help. I don't know everything. So I think that's the beauty of Trade Ideas, really. I don't know of another program that does this. No, it's not tied. I mean, obviously, we use it for marketing purposes. So you have to put up with me twice a day just to indicate how to take out a subscription. But it's not just that. I show people, the scans that I'm sharing and all of that. So it's not just it TD America that bought Scottrade? Okay. When Trade Ideas first started, I mean, I wasn't around. Well, I was around as a human being, but I wasn't with them, of course. All they had was Scottrade and E-Trade, and it was embedded in both those, and that's basically that was their business. They had virtually no retail business. And then about in 2000 and I don't know, 11 or so, I think they lost one of them, and then they realized, my gosh, we've got to, our whole business model was just having those two as our big clients, and that was it. They weren't sending emails out, weren't doing any advertising, nothing. Completely changed since then. And that's when I stepped in and said, you guys, you should have a trading room of some sort. And they hemmed and hawed, and finally I convinced them to. I said, listen, I'll just run a little, sort of like a little text. It wasn't even live. Well, people would text or like a forum, an online forum, but it wasn't. I mean, it was live to the point where if I saw the post, I could answer it, but it wasn't like text. And I did that for a couple of years, and then they said, "How would you like to maybe go live on a mic and share your screen?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Sure, why not?" And that was back in 2015, and here we are. All right, guys. Well, my little GDYN, it's inching its way down. This is the one that William. I know you didn't do it, but I'm sure you did not take the short. I have. Well, I guess I have. It feels like I always tell people I haven't had a real job since 1997. Guys, is it 2 o'clock? Yes, it's 2 o'clock. What's happened? Usually I get a, let me get a 1 minute spy chart up. All right. No rate hike. My guess, no rate hike. And the GDYN reversed on me. Should never have been in that one. Well, I should have taken my little profit. Give me a moment. Completely forgot. I should not have been in that one. No hike. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. That's the news that the market was waiting for. No hike. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, how could they have done a hike? Well, there were a lot of signs pointing to a potential of a hike. There was like a 32% possibility, which was really high compared to what we've had in the back, or we've had in the. So I should not have been in that GDYN. Probably, I should have got out with my little gain. Well, I mean, the issue, of course, with DFNS is it still here? Did not win a race. Okay, well, it did win when I had to do a reboot, but is the float right? I mean, that float 930,000. Yeah, I mean, I know you know what the float is, so I understand the concept of that's such an insanely low float that you can get wild whippy action. The only thing I can say about right now is that it's just sort of hanging underneath the VWAP. Okay, so maybe if it pops through the VWAP, but I mean, this is highly. I mean, I know they had some news yesterday. I think they said some fund or somebody bought 15% of them, but I mean, there's no There was no real reason why a few months ago it got up to, and it never got 15 to $16,000. Again, this is just reverse split adjusted, but even 316. I mean, there was no reason for that, and it did. It did. That was a real, but there was no reason for it other than some group, probably some Reddit group, said, you know what, guys, this is the one we're going to just pile into, and we're going to and see what happens. And scans around the world like ours see this happening. But I mean, the only way I would take this, and I wouldn't take very much, just because it can be so volatile, would have to break the VWAP. The VWAP looks around, maybe even get over 35. I know you'd be giving up. What's the VWAP right there? Yeah, I call it 35. You're giving up a bit, but I mean, obviously, this stock has the ability to move 10, $5, $10. I mean, it did get up to 40, 44. Yes, the MPLT. Yes, that has got another ton of room, lots and lots of room. The way I trade is I'm way more of a momentum trader. So I like to see stocks near the high or the low of the day. And then I look left to see, well, where could it go before it hits that next high? Obviously, it had horrible news 2 days ago. Horrible news. But, there are people like you, Rocky, will look at that as a potential bounce play. Always remembering that the news that caused us to go down is still there, of course. Now, remember that first move in the SPY is not necessarily the move, the end move. Normally, I have a 1 minute chart up. Even though the free version is so basically you saw the stock, okay, because it's 15-minute delay. Now the GDYN is coming back down. I wonder. Spread on this thing is 47.53. Not bad for the MPLT. Just a terrible day, though. I mean, it even closed right at the low of the day. So imagine waking up, you're sitting there, $36. The next day, it's down to 980. Well, this is starting to rip here, guys. Yeah, 56.66 now, bid ask. What I'm talking about right here. Again, this blue, nothing to do with trade ideas. Okay, this is Interactive Brokers, time and sales from Interactive Brokers, following the action here for MPLT. And here's their spread. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. I mean, obviously, I don't hold any. Well, I don't hold anything, but I don't mind trading the bios in the during market hours as a day trade. I certainly would never hold any. No, well, especially not the. You know what? This is not even that. I mean, there was no prediction this was going to happen. I mean, look at the nice ramp up it was having over the few months. You know, that stupid FOMC that kind of wrecked my JDYN trade. I wonder if I should get back into it on the short. Didn't wreck it. I mean, I basically got a little loss, but this was looking really good. But then FOMC came out, popped probably a lot of stocks. Oh boy. So the next event, of course, at 2:30, not right at 2:30. I mean, the press conference will start at 2:30. You'll start talking, but then against fielding questions, and I'm sure the question will be, "Why didn't you raise interest rates this month?" And what do you see in the future, and all those? Or does he answer questions like that? William probably knows. I don't. I've never really heard one of those pressers. He does. Okay. Well, I'm going to hang around till then at least. So the SBRC, another crazy low float, 570,000 in the float. On the weekly chart, has room 1150. I think is that the high? What the high is there is 871. It's got to take that out. I think it did a little barely. So if it takes out that 871, I mean it has a shot. Okay. But look what happened. So that's why I'm always looking left to see where a stock could stall, and almost to the penny, it stalled at that weekly high. Got a little bit above it, but I'm sorry, I actually got a lot above it, but right now it's having. Okay, here's a DFNS. Is that over? Yes, it is. So up to you, Rocky, of course, but it's over the VWAP now. The big question is, can it challenge these highs up here? Well, no, not those ones. On the 15-minute, got up to 40. That's at 9:30. So that was the opening. So got up to $44. Yeah, so this is what I'm seeing, the rapidity of the trading, 34, 35, 24, 29, 46. I mean, normal conditions, that'd be a terrible spread, but in a stock like that, it's not terrible. I missed it. I missed it. I couldn't get it where I wanted it. I was trying to get it at 35 40, and it was kind of but the spread, it's too bad. Would have been a quick trade probably anyway, but woo boy. Had I been able to get it, I'd almost for sure been at a half by now. So what is the Dow or the SPY doing? So the SPY had to pop on the no interest rates, okay, but now we're starting to fade a little bit, coming back down. All right, guys. Well, the GDYN, I just don't know if it's going to be dynamic enough for me, but let's take a look at it again, maybe. I don't think whatever happens at 2:30 is going to affect this. Oh, if this DFNS goes like to 42 or 43, I'm going to be mildly sick. Happy for you, Rocky, and anybody else who's in it, but well, as long as I'm not going to be Putin, I, I'd rather be puking than Putin. How's that? All right. Well, I think I'm not gonna bother with this GDYN. It's still looking fairly strong. So okay, guys, I will hang around though. I will hang around to 2:30, maybe 2:35, just to see what sort of questions they get. See if it has any effect. Sometimes the presser has more of an effect than the release of the minutes. But at least we know there's not going to be a rate increase. Okay, guys, let's see. Looking at some of my, you know what? I might have to take this short. Just give me a moment. SSPC. No, when I say take the short, I mean buy this. This is the short version of SPCX. I have that thumbnailed, and I say it's challenging 115. SBS SPCX is SpaceX is challenging 115 right now. So again, when SpaceX drops, this goes up. Coming into the VWAP now, call that 21. I have to do everything. I have to have extreme willpower not to chase this right now. All right, guys. Time is it? 11:19. So another 11 minutes or so till the press conference. Wild action, guys. I mean, within 10 minutes, this stock has gone from 34 up to 39. Oh, you are welcome. I hope it. I hope the streak continues. Not been an easy market, really. Okay, guys, let's see if there's anything else here that I can dive into. Oh, here's my cell phone provider, TELUS. Okay. Oh man. Oh man. 40. I have this thumbnail. That's why I can see it. Okay. So I do have, I've got another monitor, of course, and I've got some of these stocks thumbnailed so I can see them. Oh, look at that. Now, 41 down to 37, like in what, seconds? Then up and down. All about the float, guys. 930,000 in the float is, crazy, crazy low. Remember what the float is? It's the supply of stock that can be traded. So when you've got high demand, low supply, that's what can happen. But the reverse can happen, remember? All of a sudden, if the demand just dries up and you don't have a big supply, boom. I won't do my cul-de-sac, but analogy, but yeah, I mean, that's exactly what can happen. Well, yeah, trade ideas. I mean, that's what we're fantastic at. We can definitely find the abnormally traded stocks for the day, no question. That's what we're excellent at doing. Now, just because you find a stock that's trading abnormally, of course, then the next trick is, okay, where do I get into it so I can make some money? But at least it whittles down the universe of stocks into those stocks that are really interesting on a daily basis. Good afternoon. I'm not going to try to pronounce that, so I'm only going to go the first four letters. Okay, Prab, in our YouTube room. That's just a little too much for me to try to handle. A bit of a mouthful, but hopefully that's okay if I just call you Prab in our YouTube room. So if you have a question, oh, well, I mean, there's the high. There is the high right up there around 43.90. And that is basically that high, that weekly high. That's exactly what happened. I got into that weekly high, and that's where it stalled so far. I mean, look, takes out that weekly high. The next weekly high is 60. Maybe Prab can't hear me. Well, there you go, guys. We're at the high now. Oh, you know what? I was going to do it. It just got halted, though. I was actually going to take just a little bit. I was never going to hold it overnight, but it just got halted, though. Now, where could it open? Maybe I'm lucky. So there's the halt for DFNS. Remember now, this is from Interactive Brokers, time and sales from Interactive Brokers, nothing to do with trade ideas. I might be happy that I didn't get in. There's the halt at 44. This is the potential open, okay? This column trying to tell us what the potential open is. And of course, as you can see, the number fluctuates, and typically they are a 5-minute halt. So if it is a 5-minute halt, it'll open at 2:30 plus 44 seconds. If it is a 5-minute halt, it's halted 3 times today. There's the count. Yeah, it's been halted 3 times today. We've seen some stocks halted 20 or 30 or 40 times. Not usually the like this is a more expensive one, but yeah, it's you can have it. Halts resumed. You can have it. Don't you see right above? Let me see if I can drag it in. Whoops. Right there. See that? Prab, H-O, Prab, HJOT, etc. Or you mean he's gone? Well, how am I seeing that? Seriously, how am I seeing that? It says, "Hi all" at 2:20. Huh. But I thought I was the only one who can delete. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you can even. Oh, I see. Okay, you can delete your own posts. Okay, didn't know that. Well, I'm in. Okay, this is in our YouTube room. Some you saw some online stuff regarding TI and want to join, but according to videos, it looks a bit complicated to me. If someone can help, well, it really depends what you mean by help. I mean, I can direct you to some videos. Now, I don't know what videos you looked at, but this is a what we call our getting started videos, which covers most of the in a very short time. There are 12 of them. You can take a look at those. It may not be the program for you, but that's what I would do. If you haven't done that already, give me a moment and I'll put the link in. So that is here's the homepage link, my homepage link. So if you click on it, I'm talking to somebody in our YouTube room. Okay, so when you click on it, this is what I would do. I would go down a little bit to the education section, click on the more info, education section, click on the more info, and then check these out. Okay, this is a good starter, getting started with trade ideas. You don't have to be a member to look at this. You can start off with that second video. Okay, there are 12 short videos. Okay, it's a little crazy. Just give me a moment. There you go. Okay, so I would start off with the second video, go to the end, and it'll give you an idea about what the program can do. Okay. After that, I mean, it's got to be truly up to you. If you're new to trading, if you're completely new to trading, this is not going to help you. I, I, I have to be blunt. You have to have some trading experience. If you go to that website, well, if you click on that link, right underneath the getting started, there was a whole section called Back to Basics. And 15 videos, all free. Okay, and that is for people who are, essentially new to trading. Because again, trade ideas is called trade ideas for a reason. It generates ideas to trade based on maybe your own set of parameters of stocks that you want to see, price range, minimum volume, things like that. But just because I get an alert somewhere doesn't mean I just take the trade immediately. I have to be able to analyze the chart. Okay, so I am in this room. I start getting on the mic between 9 to 9:15, okay, Eastern time in the morning. You'll actually see I share my screen though. Well, what you see here, there's another trading room. You may want to come into the other room because it's a lot easier to converse. First of all, you can not converse, but you can see posts by other traders. It's free. Let me give you the same link. That room is actually open at 6:45 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not on the mic till 9, but there's a lot of action in the room. Other traders are in the room all talking about. So this is the room I'm talking about. Okay, Aman, trading room right here. It's free and it's open at 6:45 a.m. Eastern time. I don't get on the mic. Man, both rooms. I tried again to get that stupid DFNS, and they wouldn't fill me. Monica, are you in the room? Because I can't remember. I think I've traded. I'm sure yes, I've traded this in the past. But you know how Interactive Broker sometimes blocks certain stocks from being traded, and it just got halted again. I mean, this could easily challenge that 60 now. That's what traders are looking at right now. Okay, the press release is on, or the conference is on, press conference is on. Any nuggets? Just looking here. Yep, corny, but always have too much of a stock going down, never enough when the stock's going up. Corny. Boy, when I look at where I first tried to get it, around 36 something, 35 something actually, it was 35 something, and just ran away from me. Do I ever get frustrated in terms of what? I mean, I'm a little frustrated because I'm not in it because I tried a couple of times and I was, outside it was probably about 30 cents away from getting a fill. I so I missed it, and that wouldn't have mattered, of course, if I just upped it to the current ask. But when you say, is that what you mean? I mean, I'm not. I mean, listen, we see with trade ideas. There's all tomorrow. There'll be something else. Maybe not quite like the DFNS, but if you're talking about taking profits, I mean, you have to on something like this almost because I mean, with that float, look at the wild swings. 44, 39 to 44, like a $5 swing within a 5-minute period. Great when you're on the good side of it, but now where could it open? So as we speak, I've had many trades of stocks that, early in the day, some wild one that goes from, they say, 2 to 270. And it all depends how many shares you take, of course. And it's very volatile. And I'm out. And then, you look 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, it's at 4. Before that, it pulled all the way back down to like 150. I mean, I just don't beat myself up anymore. I mean, everything looks wonderful in hindsight. I mean, look at this 5-minute candle, 39.47. I mean, that's a 5-minute candle. Okay, I don't see that the SPY is doing anything astonishing, either up or down. Well, it's hard to beat yourself up though on a stock like DFNS with that sort of a float. Okay. The only thing I can recommend, you hear me talk about the wave a lot. If you're in a more, call it more traditional type of a trade, this is not traditional. I mean, how can you, with that sort of a float, I mean, while things happen and you can see they're happening, but, using the wave to help keep you in a trade can help. Just trying to find one that would make a little bit of sense. I mean, this is not bad. It's not perfect, but this is only 89-cent stock, so forget about it. Just trying to find something that's relatively. Just give me a moment, please. See, today's been a pretty choppy day. I mean, I could look at lemonade as an example. Okay, LMND. I could look at this as an example. If you'd got into this short right up here, okay, now you riding that wave all the way down until probably right there. Okay, the minute you see a bar getting into the middle of the wave. That is where I would be taking some profit, not everything though. That's the whole idea. So you take some profit and you keep riding, riding, riding down a little bit more. What that would have been from 51 down to 47 as an example. In the past, if I'd been in this short right up here, I probably would have been out of my entire trade. Getting from 60 down to 51. I mean, it's pretty hard not to, but riding the wave allows me to say, okay, I'll take some of my profit right there, because it's gone from 60 to 51, but I don't have to get out of everything. And there's another $4, as an example. Now, at this point right there, I still may hold some if I were in this, because until it transitions to blue, especially if I'm in up here, but that's how I would be using the wave. Help you keep in a trade, take some profit, and then hold on until it transitions from orange to blue or blue to orange, depending on what direction you're trading. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't think this one has one, but there's a lot of company ETFs now. You're talking about the NOWL, yeah. A lot of company ETFs. And, the attraction, of course, is the fact, not just the two time, in my opinion. I mean, it's okay, a bonus if it's moving higher for you, but the fact that it's so cheap. If I'm in a trade that is, it's the wave, really, the wave. Okay, I mean, you may not be familiar with this wave. The wave is part of the standard service. It just helps me visualize keeping in a trade a lot longer until the either the transition to the another color, either going from orange to blue. So if I were short this one, okay, right there, and then it transitions to blue, I'd be out. But what was the example I was using before? Is it LMND? Yeah. So my my sign to get out of some of the trade, as I say, was because the bar started penetrating into the wave about halfway. And that's just for me, it's just visual, very, very visual. Just keep in, keep in. As long as for me, as long as the bars are also touching. So that bar right there is touching the bottom of the wave, hugging it all the way down. Makes it for me, it makes it a lot easier to keep in a trade. The minute it starts to pierce it, then I might say, okay, let's take some off. And then, but hold on, hold on, hold on. Hasn't transitioned. I mean, there'd be, in theory, be no reason for me to be out of this entire trade. In theory. And look what's happening. It may be starting to turn down again. No, and that's on a 15. I mean, I looked at the 15 because the 5 is so choppy. The 15 will not be as choppy. It's not optimized. No, you can use it any time frame you want, whatever time frame you're comfortable with. Okay, so it's not it really, some people you see what I've got a 5 and a 15-minute chart. Some people who day trade, they have to have a 2-minute chart. Some crazy ones, Monica, I don't think you're around. People ask us, do you have 10-second charts? I mean, that's something that's so weird to me, but everybody's different. So me, I like the 5 and 15 for intraday. And then the only reason I have the weekly, daily, monthly is because most of my stocks that I'm looking at are near the high or the low of the day. So I want to check left to see where could it keep going before it hits that next high or low if I'm short. So that's why I have the daily, weekly, and the monthly. So tomorrow, for instance, I mean, lemonade may turn into a rebound trade. It might. See, 5 minutes is fine for me. I mean, 2 minutes is again too for me. See, this wasn't bad. I mean, if I back out the 5 minute, but you can see I tend to look at a 5 for the wave. I mean, this gives me a little more confirmation, I suppose. But and trust me, this is not ideal either. Okay. See, when you get a buy and a sell and a buy and all that, and it's sort of chopping around, you can't help that. I mean, wave can't help that. It is acting like a true wave. What you really want to see is something nice and steadily up or nice steadily down. Yeah, of course it'll I find that the higher price stocks are better than the really low price stocks with low floats, because those are the ones that can be so darn volatile. Boy, this is going to take out 50, isn't it? 50.01 was the high. Yeah, it's right here. But again, because it's so okay, in theory, depending where you had your stop, because you're going to have such a wide stop to hold on if you're going to obey this wave. So let's say you were down here at $35. You're riding it, you're riding it, you're riding it all the way to 42. In fact, you're riding it up to 44. Then you get this big action down here. You've got to take some off. You've got to take some off. You don't necessarily have to get out of everything, but in this case, maybe I would have been out of everything if I'd been in it down here. But in theory, it hasn't changed. It hasn't gone orange yet. So the wave is still, the trend is still strong. But you've got to have some common sense too with a float like that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the wave itself No, I don't have to do that. So here's the indicator. Oops, trade wave. And so here are the options. You can so I have yeah, it's EMA and SMA. So there's a fast EMA and a slow EMA. I'm sorry, this is the key one right here. It's the fast EMA, the 5 fast EMA, and the slow 12 EMA crosses. I haven't. I'm not a big technical indicator guy, so I haven't made any adjustments whatsoever to these numbers. But a person that it's customizable. So it isn't. So there are no other. No, there are no other. Just EMA and SMA. So I sort of answered the question, man. I have a 5 and a 15-minute chart. Okay, for me to sort of determine mainly the five, and taking a position. I could probably get by with just having a 5-minute chart, and that's it intraday. Paul, remember what you said? One day you're going to take one of these and swing it. I don't think you're going to do this for this one now, but the interesting is this gets like a strong bid over 50, like a 50-50 or something. 50. See, right now it's 49.63, but you get a strong bid like that. What's wrong with me? I should not be talking. Yeah, I've just got to resist. I've got to resist now. This would be craziness. Well, usually it's not this hard. Okay, but I mean, probably not. No, this would be reverse split adjusted. Okay, Poe. Also, yeah. So if you look at this monthly chart, you see that time right there is August. That's in 2021. It stopped trading as DFNS and in 2021. There must have been another company that had this symbol. They either went well. I doubt if it was $1,500 even then. Okay, it's hard for me to know because all of a sudden there's this big gap, and now this started trading as DFNS at 2026 here. So there's this big gap. Yeah, ask Gemini. Yeah, this is probably reverse split adjusted even when it was trading back here in 2021. Man, I'm staring at my first order that didn't fill. 34 something. Oh, $20 move. But there's no way I would have hung on to everything anyway. But quite a week, quite a day. Well, this is the third day, quite a week. Well, guys, yeah, this is overtime for me. Normally, I'm wrapped up at around 2 o'clock, but didn't mind sticking around today, especially with FOMC and all. But it's actually more about this. Okay, now okay, guys, seriously, this could have another late run. SBRC has been hugging. Well, got way below the VWAP, kind of hugged it, came into it again, and the high right there is 909. Takes that out. Possible that it'll have a late day run. The next high in the weekly chart is 1133. So I'm not saying to take the trade. I'm just pointing out that this could be, and it's another low float, 570,000 in the float. All right. Well, I'm going to be ready if I want to see if it takes out nine. This is the SPRC trading 30 times normal up to this time of day, which is 255. And I'm not going to anticipate that it's going to take, wow, see that? I'm not going to anticipate it's going to take out nine. I'm going to wait to see. I've got my price alert set up in that area. Look what it's doing though. By not anticipating taking a trade really helps me a lot. I mean, that was pretty brutal. Look at that. I mean, I was looking maybe taking out that nine, and it goes from 9 to 8, just like that. Well, I've got it, but I pay no attention to it. Okay, guys, I think maybe that is it for me. So as always, I have to shut down YouTube, of course, and Will, you're not going to keep the room open after I. Well, would somebody, Obi or you want to close it? I mean, I can close it, obviously, but maybe that you'll do it. Okay, okay, guys. So you're going to keep it open what till 3 o'clock, maybe, or another couple of minutes. I'll leave now. I will leave now. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for all the help all day long. Exciting day. I will mute myself and stop the screen sharing, and we'll see you guys. Remember, the main room will be open till or at 6:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. So have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. So I'm just going to stop this. Well, I won't stop the screen sharing. Right, you're going to shut down the room. I'll just mute myself now. I have to shut down YouTube though.